Hey guys, check out Italian Wine Unplugged 2.0, brought to you by Mama Jumbo Shrimp, a fully updated second edition, reviewed and revised by an expert panel of certified Italian wine ambassadors from across the globe. The book also includes an edition by Professore Attilio Scienza, Italy's leading vine geneticist. To pick up a copy today, just head to Amazon.com or visit us at mamajumboshrimp.com. Welcome to another episode of On the Road Edition, hosted by Stevie Kim. Each week, she travels to incredible wine destinations, interviewing some of the Italian wine scene's most interesting personalities, talking about wines, the foods, as well as the incredible travel destinations.
My name's Stevie Kim. Welcome to Italian Wine Podcast On the Road Edition. And this is Sicilia. It's the continuation of Sicily. Because your friend, Alessio Planeta, he said, Basta, stop going to Etna. I know you love Etna, but you have to come to the hinterland of Sicily. And that's what we decided to do on this short journey in Sicilia. So first as you know, we went to see Alessio Planeta in Menfi. And also, Alessio, I have a personal message for you. I'm going to kill your ass because you told us the shortcut, the best route to get from Menfi to Tasca, and it was absolutely a nightmare because there was nobody, and every there were curves, like I think at least thousands and thousands. So thank you for that, and there's this thing called payback. So I'm still thinking about what I can do for that. So that was something that I wanted to say to your friend Alessio. And today we're here with Alberto Tasca. And we are in, where are we?
We are in Regaleali. Welcome in Regaleali.
Regaleali. It sounds like, when the Chinese, they can't say the R.
Exactly.
Right? Regaleali. Okay.
It's an Arab's name. Come from Arabs.
It's an Arab's name.
Yes, Reahahali.
Reali. Okay. What does it mean? What does it mean?
The domain of Ali. Mm-hmm. Probably Ali was a sultan, and so the domain. There are many small towns and places that are called Regal Mici, Regal Buto, Regal. So Regal is the domain of, and the other name is the name of the sultan that was the property, that owned the property.
And when did you start this wine business? Your family goes back to way back, right? Mm-hmm. In the 1800s?
Even the family, even before. They moved here in Regaleali in 1830.
Okay.
They bought this property from a Spanish family. The Alvarez de Toledo. Mm-hmm. And that was 1,200 hectares of agriculture, poor agriculture, except il girato, so the side close to the house, mm-hmm. that has contained, that was 75 hectares of grapes, fruits, and animals.
So 1862. Give us a short history of your family.
Oh, my family.
First of all, you're Conte. Are you Conte?
No, my brother Giuseppe.
And what would happen?
And then because
don't you automatically become
only the first. The first in each generation takes the title. So my brother,
your brother.
Big brother Giuseppe, that you know very well.
Count.
He is the count.
And what are you? The brother of the count.
The brother of the count is just a simple Alberto, nothing. And so my family was a family that I found in. There is a lot of literature here in about agriculture in Europe, mm-hmm. and in each of these books, many of them were wrote it in French. And they were talking about Regaleali as a place, a model place that works really close with university to innovate in agriculture, to experiment. And so they were really passionate of agriculture in general and really passionate about innovation. So the DNA was totally on how can we experiment and do better. This kind of DNA, generation by generation, became the DNA of the place. So now the place has a strong DNA on this versus the experiment and try to don't break the tradition, keep the tradition, but try to look always.
So let me ask you to give us a brief panoramic overview of all of your estates.
Yeah.
The Tasca dal Merita family.
So
and give us kind of the geolocalize where they are located.
So what happened? So we start here in Regaleali. Regaleali was our home and the place where we start to study about wine and wines in general. We bring a lot of innovation here. It was a moment where Sicily wasn't not so famous for great fine wine. So I remember when I started to work, the production of bottled wine was really low, so less than 12%.
Right.
And so then after that, it was
mostly bulk wines.
Bulk
right?
wines,
right.
yes. It was a really easy market for bulk wine that we used to sell everywhere. After the two wars, my grandfather started to bring a lot of energy on the fine wines. Before that, we have
Your grandfather, so
Giuseppe. Yes.
It's and like Giuseppe, Lucio,
Giuseppe, Lucio, Giuseppe.
It goes
yes,
like that.
That's it.
It's like the 100 years of
yes,
solitude.
I'm the black sheep. And so before him, even his grandfather used to produce wine in Palermo in Villa Tasca. That was called Villa Camastra. That was the end of the 19th century.
Oh my God, Villa Tasca.
Yes.
I know. You know why I know, right?
No.
White Lotus.
Yes, that's why.
It's crazy.
Yeah, they
what
were
the
White
hell
Lotus.
Is going
so in
on?
White Lotus, they say that Villa Tasca is in Noto, but is the one in Palermo.
Yes, so how did that happen?
My brother, because my brother Giuseppe was doing part of this series, and he was the Count Peppe Tasca, hosting people in Villa Tasca.
Right.
And so it's a traditional. So they translate him in Italian, but he speaks his own original English there. That's Peppe. You know Peppe.
Yeah,
Peppe is the best. And so from that, we were in 1880 when we started to produce wine. Then we stopped during the two wars. Mm-hmm. And then my family decided to sell other property around Sicily to invest everything here and to restart with the wine production. So in the 1950 we start with Bianco and Rosso. Then that's because I will mention before the DNA experimentation was really interesting. We start to produce like a wine like Rosso del Conte that was come after my grandfather tour in Châteauneuf-du-Pape.
Oh, okay.
So that period,
so let's taste the wine.
In the 60s, the Châteauneuf-du-Pape was the model to follow. And he decided to spend their months, study the wines there and say, now I will do the best one in the world. And that was his ambitions. Mm. So he chose a particular vineyard that is called Vigna San Lucio. And
we went there yesterday. 1959.
Yeah, exactly there.
Right?
Yes, but it was a little bit later. So he started this project. The first vintage of Rosso del Conte is the 1970.
So this is really your signature wine.
Yes.
But in the vineyard, Ivo, I went with Ivo. He explained to us that they're just field blends, actually, right? It's difficult to differentiate between Pericone and Nero d'Avola.
Yes, for him, yes. But if you know, the leaves,
for Ivo,
yes,
you can't tell.
It's really difficult before the leaves come out. When the leaves come out, have different attitudes. So one goes down, one goes up. So that's a little bit easier than we recognize them. But the nice thing is that this vineyard is a blend vineyard, and we vinify everything together. So the fermentation is together, and that's in the whole tradition was like this. And we also in the 2010 we reproduced after 40 years the first similar of the first vintages the perfect blend with more Pericone than Nero d'Avola. But the nice thing is that was aged in chestnut.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah,
It's like
and chestnut is so strong, so need a big fruit behind. If you don't have it, it's really difficult to drink. And the nice thing is, the other nice thing is that chestnut need almost not less than 5 years, 6 years to be ready. So the first 3-4 years, the fruit and wood fight together. So you can feel them both, but not integrated.
So this is your signature wine. This is your family wine.
Yes.
This is the historic red wine for the family. And how many bottles do you produce of this?
Well, it depends on the vintages. We are at almost like 60,000 bottles, but it depends on the vintage. The Nero d'Avola is really gone in late harvest, have a really small skin, a delicate skin. So when it's raining, we lose a lot, and then depend if it's too warm. So it depends.
And so what about the other white wine we have?
Nozze d'Oro is the first, another...
Nozze means wedding.
Nozze wedding, yes. Nozze d'Oro was wine that was dedicated from my grandfather to my grandmommy for their 50 years of anniversary of wedding. Giuseppe to Franca.
Okay, Franca.
And it's a crazy wine that I think is explained Regaleali very well. So where we are in the center, in the middle of nowhere in Sicily, in high altitude. We are not surrounded by mountains, so we don't have the influence of the sea. So here the excursion between night and day is so high. During summertime, we have even more than 25 degrees of differences. And that gives a lot of complexity. And the wine, the ripeness arrives like almost 1 month or 45 days later, consider the cost in Sicily, okay? So the wine here has a characteristic, but not only the wine, even the olive oil and things that's of longevity. So they are integrated and they can keep in time. And Nozze d'Oro is a crazy wine, so you can drink it after 20 years. It's a jet still wine.
It has great aging potential.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And what are the grape blends?
There is a kind of Sauvignon that we found here.
Right. Sauvignon Tasca.
Yeah, they call it Sauvignon Tasca. Doesn't mean that was
Sauvignon.
Professor because what happened because the vines adapt themselves and they change a little bit their kind of attitude and even the kind of cluster and leaves. And with Insolia, and with a really old vineyards of Insolia, and they are blending together.
But what is it called, Nozze d'Oro?
Nozze d'Oro means gold wedding.
And is that like 100 years?
50 years. 50 years, yes. 100 years is hard. You can do that, but you mean...
you never know.
Exactly.
So how many wines does the Regaleali produce? How many labels do you have?
Too many.
How many?
We are talking about 18.
18.
So we used to do... So our model is agricultural model. So we used to connect vineyards to label. Okay, we do 2 wines that make a lot of blend of everything that are Regaleali Bianco and Regaleali Rosso, and they made half of the production that we produce here in Regaleali, and all the others are coming from direct vineyards.
But is that cost effective? I mean, you're the king of sustainability.
Yes.
Is it economically sustainable what you're doing? So 18 labels?
Yes, it could be, but honestly speaking, is not ideally. So ideally is just have 1 wine per estate and do an easy job. But it's part of the DNA of the company. So we introduce here many varieties. My father was the first introducing here Chardonnay and Cabernet. So that's the attitude of experimentation means that we do really a lot of stupid things, and that means producing different wine and try. But this exercise helps you a lot to understand your place, your territory. I'm crazy in love with the geography of wine. So to me, a great wine has to represent where it comes from, who it is, and where it's going, and how old is it. Okay, and so to know that, to understand better that, as much as experience you can do, helps you a lot.
So give me, so you make 18 labels from Regaleali, but give me an overview of where the other estates are located.
The other estates are, so we, from Regaleali, then it happened that we around the 90s, we understood that Sicily was considered now for good wine, but the perception was a flat island. And so we were,
And it's
this
not at all, because
not at all,
believe me, Alessio taught me that it's not flat at all.
not at all.
And this is quite elevated.
Yes.
I wasn't expecting that,
Yes,
actually.
close 70% of the total highland is by on hills, and that's crazy. So it's a lot, and each place has a lot of different culture and different attitudes. So we start to look for attitude. So we jump to Salina, where there was the Malvasia, the Lelipari tradition, and we get in love with that, doing a sweet wine that is called Capofaro. It's a super nice location facing on north on Salina, where we produce this Malvasia, dry and sweet.
Small production, right?
Yes, really small. We are talking there in the entire highlands with 10 hectares. And we also produce wine in another highland. It's called Vulcano. We call Vigna di Paola, just to have different kind of vineyards. And the impact of the two
and where
highlands.
Is that? Where is
Vulcano is another of the Aeolian highlands.
Okay.
Close to Salina. It's the first closer to Milazzo.
Okay, so it's close to Capofaro.
Yes, so Salina is in Capofaro is in Salina, then we have Lipari, and then Vulcano, closer to the coast. But the project is to go there to try to study each vineyard and try to understand better the attitude of each place. And then so from Capofaro we jumped to Mozia, and Mozia is owned by Grillo di Mozia.
Because I went there when you first started the project, but there was no vines because all the rabbits
destroyed
everything.
Yes, that was 2012.
Now, what do you do with the rabbits?
Yeah, with the rabbits, as always happen with rabbits, or if you don't kill them, they die themselves because there is a pandemic.
How the hell did the rabbits get into this island in the first place? That's my question.
With men, with people. So
they bought it.
They bought it to the island
because
they used to have it.
Propagate.
Yes, they propagate so fast, and then after that, a pandemic arrived, and they totally died. So when
they died.
Yes, because there are
not
too many.
Not of COVID.
No, it's quite a COVID. It's called a different way, but it's similar. And so that's the highland of Mozia is crazy. The attitude was there for working on a dry grillo. It was 2007. I had no experience at that moment with grillo. The grillo that I founded here were most with the oxidation method, so it wasn't clear to me what was it. And so we started this experience in a place that is unique. There are whole bush vineyards, really old. Now has 12 hectares of Grillo, and there we are dedicated there to Grillo. So once we were there, we brought even to Regaleali the Grillo to understand better. So that's why we produce many grapes, because something always it happened like this. Things Regaleali as a university where we studying a lot of altitude of the place where we are, the clay, soil, and things. And the other estates around are specific on some mission with the right attitude.
Are you enjoying this podcast? Don't forget to visit our YouTube channel, Mama Jumbo Shrimp, for fascinating videos covering Stevie Kim and her travels across Italy and beyond, meeting winemakers, eating local foods, and taking in the scenery. Now, back to the show.
Then from Mozia we went in Salier de la Tour, that is in the appellation is called Doc Monreale.
Okay.
Where we were really looking for the attitude of the combination of Syrah and the place. Really tough varieties, but really great expression there with great elegance.
Where is it located?
It's half an hour from Palermo, going in the center of the island.
Okay.
So from Palermo south directions,
and where
20 minutes.
Respect to Regaleali?
From here is 1 hour and depend who drive.
Yeah,
but I mean, there are around 85 kilometers in terms of linea d'aria. I don't know.
Right. Straight line.
Yeah.
So maybe we can ask our travel consultant, Alessio, for the
Yes,
route.
ask him the road. And and then we, after Salier de la Tour, we're working with Syrah. We jump in Etna, always
Etna,
in 2000.
Tascante.
Yes, in Tascante.
And I've been to Tascante, actually.
Yes, and
What,
that's
2018?
2007. The
I
first
went there 2018
18.
in the very beginning.
Okay. We were there in 2000, also in 2007. So it was, and there we get crazy about the combination of Nerello Mascalese
Yeah,
and the
who's
attitude.
not crazy about Nerello Mascalese
Yeah,
right
no,
now?
it's really tough. But the nice thing is the vinification by contrada and different contrada and what is going on. So with being as neutral as you can feel the difference of the different contrada.
So that was your last investment
Yes.
in Etna?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and
So
we ended,
last
but we
night,
started in 2007. We ended
yeah,
in
I hope
2016.
Evo's listening. So last night we had a taste of 36 wines,
Mm-hmm.
right, from the different estates. And it was very interesting. Andrea tasted it, Simone tasted, and there were some journalists last night. And the food pairing was excellent. It was all local. Everything was fried. I love everything that's fried. How can you beat it? You can go with red and white. But I must say, the best thing, the most memorable thing. Are you ready?
Cannolo. I knew that. That's it. So that was my father was decided to give up with cannolo because everybody think about that. So the tradition that we have here with the cooking is crazy. We had a Monsu chef that follow us for 3 generations.
Yeah.
And that's why all the fried arrive. He has a big France influence. And invent this cannolo that is of course coming from the Sicilian tradition, but with the Nero d'Avola scorza with Nero d'Avola with the ricotta cheese that we produce here, and it's crazy.
I know. So you told me the whole story about your father.
Yeah,
Because
it was crazy.
Yeah, you had a very important number of guests. Trade people. They came in. You served you had a vertical of I think it was Rosso del Conte. He took out all the library wines. He gave it 150%. And then as they were leaving, they're like, thank you very much. The cannolo was excellent. The most memorable experience. And Eva told me that your father called somebody and said, okay, that's it.
That's
no
it.
more canolos.
Give up
no
with
more
canola,
canolos. And then, of course, someone else came back and they're like, if you don't have the canola, we're not coming back. So canola is now back in the menu. I thought that was very interesting because, especially for Americans, right? When I came here, when I went to Tascante, I was on a trip, which I never do with my siblings. It was like a, private trip. And their obsession was to eat cannolo everywhere we went to understand, to rate the best cannolo,
Exactly.
Of Etna, So we have a special affinity to cannolo. I thought that was hilarious. We were laughing tons last night.
That was the same with Attilio Schenz and the lamb. So Attilio wants to come here only if we can ensure to him the lamb.
Yeah. So
and it was, I was there. You have to ask him to tell you that it was. He went to the airport with a lamb that was.
he told me.
Was just cutted, so with blood, with things, and so he passed. They put it there and say, "What is it? It
was like a cadaver, right?"
Yes.
Yeah, he actually told
Only
me.
him.
He told me that story, but I didn't know it was you.
Yeah.
I had no idea. So there's, of course, you remember these things because when you come here, of course, I've seen thousands of pictures of this courtyard, the magnolia tree, the vineyards, etc. But unless you actually come here, you don't really understand where you are, right? So how do you how are you able to transmit that message? How do you communicate?
So that's the most important frustration of my life and all my marketing team. So I always fight with them. But sometimes I invite people with great high different culture of architect or philosopher, and I let them spend time in Regaleali, and then after 2 days, without telling them nothing, I say, okay, how can you communicate it? And we spend like hours and hours to say, Alberto, probably the only way is to live it, to feel it, and let people feel it, and step by step.
Yeah, it's so important for you to come, and I'm so glad I'm here.
With the nice road that we have.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Alessio. So, I mean, I always say that, I always, like, when we have talks and stuff, I always introduce you as like the Antinori of Sicily, right? Because for me, that encapsulates exactly, in terms of the nobility, in terms of the capability, in terms of the history, right? But you can't say you can't have the payoff Antinori of Sicily, right?
No, but they are, thank you for that. They are a great family. They made huge things, and Piero was one of my mentors, and I was always looking at Piero and Antinori and Angelo Gaia, or learn a lot from them, and they are, as you say, inarrivabili, unarrivable. No, that's, yeah, I think that the nice things of wine in general is to be who you are, unique in this sense, so and try to keep it. And I can tell that many whole family that are involved in wine for many generations are really connected with the territory, and really part of it, and really try to keep it in the best way, and push them the territory in the future. And that's probably, I think, is a common line in the Italian family of wine.
So I have two more questions. Okay.
Ready.
One is about this magical bonding you have, with, Alessio and Antonio. For our audience, I'm talking about Alessio Planeta from Planeta, and of course Antonio Rallo from Donna Fugata. I always, I have that famous picture of you guys, three guys
with
with the
three.
blackberries.
Super picture.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, I love it because that's you guys, right? And I'm so amazed because I think you're the only ones who were able to pull this off, right? Because when your father and Antonio's father, Giacomo, and Alessio's uncle, Diego, they did this famous, I love in Italian, they say passaggio generazionale. Somehow they were able to do this together, right? And it was almost seamless from the outside. How were you able to do that?
I think that they made a really huge job on that, and I think was their mission. So they start to connect different wineries in the same region, and stay together and think about the the common. So what was useful for everybody, and they start to talk to them, to even fight. But they learn how to fight in a sport way, so in a honest way. That's fight is really important. So bring the energy is really important. So when you stay together, is not has not to be a flat moment. Has to be a moment where you bring all your energy and your ideas and your ways to try to find a solution. And that happened many years ago. So after that, I think we learn how to do this kind of system of communication, and I hope that the next generation can keep it. It's really important because we staying together and thinking together about Sicily, about our issue, our problems, and we find a solution, and we create many things that are crazy. So the last project, that is the foundation, the SOStain Foundation.
I knew you could not resist not talking about
that's the
I knew
but this,
we
this
were
is
going
our
there.
last project.
Yes,
this is our
I knew
last
you were
project.
going here. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us about your obsession with sustainability.
Honestly,
Yes.
it happened from frustration. So there was a period where we had a huge trend of natural wine that I still drink and love, and some exactly, and biodynamic and things, and we were the definition of us was conventional. So and say, okay, so I'm not an agronomist, but I want to know. I love to know, and I love the science behind. So I want to know what natural means. That was frustration, and so I made a question to a teacher who's called Professor Capri from Piacenza, Università Agraria, and I asked him, so Ettore, don't you think we can measure our impact on what we do, try to understand if I'm doing well or not, or is doing better, and try to find the right model? And he told me, you're talking about sustainability. And that was a long time ago. So from that, we start to create the model, how to measure our impact. And what the outfit of that, I mean, what came out from that was crazy, because you learn a lot. You measure, you understand, you can change, you can save a lot of things like energy. And we are spending a lot of less money on energy because we use less energy, or many things. You can impact much better, and became a method of work. And this method of work helped you in the decision making process. And for a human who has to drive it is the best. So that's how it starts.
My question to you is, however, like you have this foundation, and you have a very good group of producers, who are committed in this cause. But now the word sustainability it's almost passé, right? Like, I mean,
Yes.
everybody is talking about
Yes.
sustainability.
And it's also boring, if I can add something.
Yeah. So how can you make this word and this project count?
With fact.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things that you can do, that we can do as a group. For example, we will present now the bottle of that we are made in Sicily. So we decide to produce with OI, that is the company that produce bottle in Sicily, to produce a bottle that is only for Sicilian producer, that is with recycling glass made in Sicily. So for 95%, that reduce the impact in a huge way. And this is just a simple project. It's win-win for everybody. The glass producer are happy, we are happy, and the environment is happy. So this is the things that can help. So we don't have to talk anymore about sustainability, but use sustainability as a method. Then yes, you can be certified, and that probably is important, because if the governance of certification is right, is the right way to do it. But it's really important to do fact together, improve, and bring low impact. Do things.
Yeah,
It's
just
not
do the work.
not
Actually,
talk about.
that's the name of our agency. So that's a very good segue to my last question, because remember I had two questions. My last question is, so history shows that both you, Alessio, Antonio, the leaders of the Sicilian wine, you have been committed to expanding, right, growing, but within the Sicilian territory. Because if you see any other companies, wine companies, especially from the north, right, whether they're Piemontesi, Veneto, Tuscans, first of all, they all want to go to Etna, but they have invested in other parts of the country, right? So how come you have decided to invest just in Sicily and not go outside of the Sicilian border?
So the agricultural approach is tough. You have to dedicate time to the vineyards to understand it, and it's a deep job. It's not something that is really easy to do, jumping around, and you need team dedicated everywhere. You need time spending everywhere. So that's it. And I think we never talked together about this with the guys, but I mean, I think
But for me, as an outsider, it's so clear.
Yeah, but I think we found a clear potential in many places around Sicily, and I think we all had the clear idea that the perception was for a flat island, and it's not at all. And we used to work on this kind of diversity, and this is the message. This is our job. I don't know if any of them will go outside from Sicily, or me neither in the future. I think becoming too old. I think it's my son will say. So
The
when
next
you
generation.
because I think when it has to be clear that in wines project take like not less than 10, 15 years to be settled in a program in the best way, except if you do like M&A or something that is more in terms of finance approach. But then in terms of agricultural approach, need time and affination. So yeah, I think we've just found the potential. We are spending a lot of time here, and there's a lot of to do.
Yeah, you're still discovering Sicily.
Yes.
And you are very, very committed to this rather big island called Sicilia. So with that, I think that's a wrap. Thank you for hosting.
With
Let's chin chin with
Chin.
Nocedoro for
Thank you,
our
Stevie.
50 years of friendship. Almost.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, that's a wrap. So till next time. Ciao ragazzi.
Ciao.
Thank you for joining us on another installment of On the Road Edition, hosted by Stevie Kim. Join her again next week for more interesting content in the Italian wine scene. You can also find us at ItalianWinePodcast.com or wherever you get your pods. You can also check out our YouTube channel, Mama Jumbo Shrimp, to watch these interviews and the footage captured of each location. Chin chin!